So, early in the week I had the chance to play the Resident Evil 4 Remake demo. As usual with Capcom's Resident Evil demos in these last few years, I'm pretty impressed, but with a slight hint of concern. Why? I think most Resident Evil fans would agree we weren't too keen on the direction of the plot for both remakes 2 and 3. Specifically for an RE fan like myself, whose favorite main title is split between 2 and 4, but slightly, favoring 4, still to this day. So let me jump on here and give my 2 cents on what I like thus far and what potentially I don't like that concerns me. Load it up. Yo. Majority of my opinion of the demo and general first impressions are positive, so let's start with that. First and foremost, the obvious light for me would be the graphical upgrade. OG RE4 is one of those early 2000s titles that aged pretty well, so in the beginning I didn't really understand why this was getting a remake treatment, but I knew given the track record of RE Engine for the franchise since 7 and Devil May Cry 5, I wasn't really worried about the visual department. The new character models for Leon, Hunnigan, and the infected villagers look stunning. The environment, weapons, and items are damn near realistic. One of my favorite gameplay features added is Leon's ability to operate in stealth. It allows him to sneak unnoticed and even kill enemies without alerting other villagers. I also love this feature because it brings a new sense of realism for the plot of the game. Since Leon is infiltrating a cult deep in the Spanish boonies alone, it only makes sense that a secret agent is not running around causing a ruckus and attracting attention to himself, to be killed for going commando when he is obviously outnumbered. Plus, this allows the opportunity to add thrill when exploring the environment because it looks like you can find keys and hidden items in the demo. Also, playing as a rogue and stealth mechanics are my thing in RPGs. From what I can tell, it looks like the inventory space is fully maxed out from the get-go instead of upgrading it to make more space like in the OG. I love the fact that we are still able to take advantage of stunned enemies by performing melee attacks. More importantly, that the movesets have been upgraded, from just a roundhouse kick to adding a spinning back kick, and even using a knife to finish off enemies laying on the floor. I'm also really glad that they kept the suplex option, and added the ability to use the combat knife while sprinting. Keeping the ability to shoot wildlife for loot, potential fatal headshots, and not having to rely on weapons to break open crates, kicking down ladders, and jumping through openings and windows are also pluses. But what I'm really glad they kept is for defeated enemies to drop ammunition. Yes! Now I really don't have to worry about running out of ammo and having them in fixed areas to re-up like the previous remakes. Although it seemed pretty cool at the time, in OG RE4 when Leon would contact someone through his codec, it would cut to a scene Metal Gear style. But when he contacts Hunnigan, it's an actual cutscene where we see each character speaking in their respective settings. I think they did a real fantastic job of improving on this scene compared to the original that focused on stills. Now, there are cinematic cutscenes from Remake 2 and Infinite Darkness bringing us to speed on what happened, and new scenes showing Leon getting special training from the US government. One of those scenes is his combat knife training with Krauser, whom we know will be a villain down the line. Now onto some of the things I didn't necessarily like or simply concerns me for the full game. This has been an issue for me not only with Remake 4 but for all the remakes. Personally, I feel like they're making the environments unnecessarily dark. Again, this is my personal opinion, but I feel like you don't necessarily have to change previous settings that had decent lighting to almost pitch dark to make things more in line with a horror theme. Things can still be scary in broad daylight. Damn man, they killed my dog. For those of us who played the original, we know that the dog caught in the trap had a particular mechanic that played out in the plot if we helped set it free in the beginning of the game. But now it seems they took it completely out by just blatantly making the dog deceased, which leads into my next concern. Now I can't say for sure that content will be taken out like previously did with remakes 2 and 3, but seems like in the beginning when he was asking the villager for insight went from this.
Excuse me, sir? I was wondering if you might recognize a girl in this photograph.
¿Qué carajo estás haciendo aquí? ¡Lárgate, cabrón!
Sorry to have bothered you.
Freeze!
To this.
Sorry to barge in like this. Go a un policía. Vino aquí?
It makes me worried about what they'll alter deeper into the title. I would have hoped that it would be a faithful one-to-one like they did with Remake 1 back in the early 2000s for the GameCube, but I don't have any faith that they'll do that right now. Even the way that Leon is acting isn't really faithful, and although the OG was a mix of fun, action, and humor, I can at least feel that the humor has become kinda dry. Leon isn't as quippy as before, and he just seems to not look like he matured from Remake 2. It just looks like the character model from Remake 2 was pasted into here with different clothes, and his face is set on mean mug the whole time. Like I said earlier, my overall impression with the demo is positive, but my concerns are still valid given the last two Remake titles. What are some things you're looking forward to in Remake 4? Did you agree or disagree with my initial impressions from the demo? Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you found this to your liking, and check out links in the description, the first comment pinned to the top. You know the vibes. It's Kaizoku Sleven. Appreciate you.